Rick and Morty with some of my favorite episodes in years, particularly their incredibly strong finale, maybe my favorite season finale in the show's history. So I have been very eager to see if Season 8 can pick up where Season 7 left off, and I'm happy to say that I thought this was an excellent season premiere, not only delivering a pretty great episodic Rick and Morty adventure with a fun twist on a sci-fi trope, but also showcasing how comfortable Rick and Morty's new voice actors have become after settling into the roles. And on a character level, this episode goes a really long way to show us that Summer is sort of becoming a bit more like Rick, and that's something I really want to talk about in this video. Overall, it has me really optimistic for the coming season, so let's dive into Season 8's premiere, Summer of All Fears. I don't know about you guys, but as I get older, I'm trying harder and harder to just maintain a healthy lifestyle, but the sheer volume and variety of different, even skin clarity in just 8 pictures of my video, thing was just like a table setting for a more unique idea, which I guess I should have expected, because generally Rick and Morty is good at embracing an additional twist or angle on the kinds of sci-fi premises we've seen before. What I love most about this setup is that the episode basically starts at like the climax of the Matrix story. Through pretty quick context clues, you gather that Morty and Summer have been stuck inside a Matrix simulation for many quote-unquote years of the simulation. Obviously, Rick and Morty is no stranger to trapped in a simulation premises. Season 1 had the classic
love the simulations.
They've done a couple episodes featuring the Roy video game simulation, so I guess going in, you question the approach, like what more could they even do? Well, the answer lies beyond the simulation itself, because the episode isn't as much about Morty and Summer living in the Matrix as it is how their mental development within that matrix affects their psyche when they leave it. It's a really cool thing to focus on, basically exploring the ramifications of the way Summer grew and learned over the course of her 17 years in the simulation, and the ways Morty's Matrix experiences traumatized them. And the entire trapped in the Matrix idea was Rick's punishment because they borrowed his phone charger and didn't give it back.
My hands! A child's hands!
You built a Matrix to punish them for a phone charger?
The entire world is built around entire societies fighting over lent charging cables, with charged phones basically being the commodity they go to war over. This is actually, to me, maybe one of the most vindictive things Rick has ever done to Morty and Summer. Not that there aren't other major examples. However, in this one, obviously Rick wants to mind
This is everything we built over the past couple of years. Today, we brought them all out to give you the latest on each and every one of them. We're going to pour one out for the ones that aren't here with us anymore, and probably most importantly, talk about what's next. Honestly, I don't have a clue where to start, so I feel like it's only right that we go with the OG. First, real deal I ever did on YouTube, a 2007 Porsche 911 Turbo. Still to this day, this is far and away the nicest, best thing I've ever built, and probably ever will build. When I bought this 911 Turbo, not only was the engine blown up, but it was 3 or 4 different colors, and I don't know if that sounds great at first, but think about it, it's really just permission to upgrade. So we built the engine, we stuck on a pair of big gear turbos, which allowed us to make over 1,000 horsepower, and as for the body side of things, well, that got out of hand pretty fast. Now, if you watch the build series and listen to the cars, basically the exact same way it was at the end of that. We've done a full yellow metallic paint job. We did a lot of different carbon fiber bits, like this GT2 RS hood. We did an aftermarket carbon fiber roof, which still to this day, putting the roof on the 911 Turbo, which at the time was by far the most expensive thing I'd ever owned, was still one of the scariest things I've ever done. Under the hood, or trunk I guess in this case, is still the same exact engine. I mean it when I say all we've done is change oil. Since the build's been finished, all we really had to do was replace a few odd worn out suspension parts, like the tie rods, which ironically at the current moment the alignment is trash because of that. As for what's next with this thing, I wish I could say that we're going to just enjoy it, not mess with it any further, but there is one huge change we do need to make. The seats. Recaro Sportsters are one of the best seats. I love them, but in this car, they're just a little too wonky. And when I push the clutch in, I'm basically operating with my knees on the steering wheel. We've done modification to them, we've moved them back. They just don't work. Now, ironically, the seats that I want to get for this thing are the seats we just put in the truck, and they don't at all belong in the truck. The carbon fiber Recaro Podium. So we're going to try to source another set of those eventually. That'll hopefully make that a little bit easier of a driving experience.
Gonna do a sound check or what?
I mean, why not? We gotta do a sound check, of course. Red line. Oh, good. Obviously, the best sounding car I've ever built as well. I forget when I don't drive this thing for a while just how intoxicating it sounds. It's just so good. Only fair way to do this, I suppose, since we started with the oldest build, is to move on to the next build. This one, I'm sure you guys probably all seen, the OG Demon, which I have to say now, I guess, for Hendo, because they have two Demons, which is ridiculous. We bought this Demon from the salvage auction after it burned, well, completely to the ground, and spent over a year rebuilding it and manual swapping it. On a positive note, for as much as this thing's fun to store in the build, it has been relatively trouble-free. Oh, man. Let me clarify, it was trouble-free after we shredded the stock axles and drive shaft and upgraded. Unfortunately, as it almost always seems to go,